So, Chucky's back. We just extended Paul Maurice for an extra 3 seasons, and the state of Florida has gone an entire week without a hurricane. It's not so bad.
The Florida Panthers have won the Stanley Cup.
Let's go Panthers! Let's go Panthers! Let's go Panthers! Let's go! Go!
Puck drop. And 3, 2, 1, drop!
Let's go Panthers! Let's go Panthers! Let's go Panthers! Let's go! Go!
All right, Panther fans, here we go. Bubba apparently is going for win number 400 tonight, which it might turn into win number 500 by the time we wake up. Because if you saw the live stream earlier today, I don't know if I'm like losing it or whatever, but I was surprised to learn that Bobrovsky had 58 starts last year. And you would think that I wouldn't be surprised to learn anything about this team. But for whatever reason, at some point during the season, which I guess I was understandably distracted now that I think about it, but at some point I had thought that I had seen statistics that showed Bob and Stolarz almost had the same number of starts. I have a real vivid memory of it, except it never happened, at least not in the timeline we're in right now. So Bob is going for win 400 tonight. If I wake up tomorrow and he's got win 500, hopefully the time-space continuum doesn't change this video. Now, we get Chucky back tonight. So we're ready to ring our Chucky bells. Let's get him a goal. Let's get Chucky, Verhaeghe, and Sam Miskevich get a goal. And then just for the hell of it, how about a Bobrovsky empty net goal? Let's just do that tonight. That sounds about right. Now, we're still short one guy. Nosek has been skating, but he's not ready to play yet. So Belinskas, I believe, is still on the 4th line. That's fine. No worries right there. I'm interested to see how Chucky's going to be, how his energy level. He usually does raise the energy level of the team. Max Samoskevich needs to score. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but what I mean is as guys come back and get healthy, I'm going to start talking about Maurice having a decision on who's going to be the odd man out. I think, though, right now, at a full strength, I would think Gadjevich would be the guy that would be out, and Samoskevich probably done enough to keep that job. But you just never know around here, okay? We've all had some guys come and go that surprise us all. So how about a couple of goals tonight? In fact, yeah, we'll get greedy. We'll get you 2 goals tonight. All right, Panthers, this one, there's never any easy games. This one, we got 2 days rest after, we had a home game and 2 days rest. We should be ready to rock and roll tonight. Let's go. It's 2-0 Minnesota, 2 goals on 6 shots. Now, not necessarily, it sounds worse than it is, right? In terms of, it's not like Bob is letting up softies. There's been a couple of deflections right in front because what's soft is the defense, just letting guys stand there in the crease. And we're doing that thing that we do where we're trying to back pass and soft pass, and then we don't pass at the right time. I think it was Boquist came down the wing, and Samoskevich was on the other side, and Gustafsson comes out and totally commits to Boquist. And if he would have just tapped it to Samoskevich at the front, at the corner of the net, it's an easy tip in. But instead, Boquist shoots it right into Gustafsson, and so it's 2-0. And we started off looking okay. Or offensively, we look okay, except for the off passes and the back passes. Let's come back and win the game. We shouldn't be losing this game like this. So the Minnesota Wild, I guess, become the second team ever to have not trailed at all in the first 6 games of the season. I don't have a lot of words for the abomination of a game that we just put out there. I mean, it's just not even... There are good games, and then there's mediocre games, then there's bad games, then there's games where you really didn't show up, and then there's whatever we put out there on the ice was tonight. That was as close to a forfeit as I think I've seen this team play in a long time. Like back in the days when we weren't good, we knew that we were still most nights going to get a top-notch effort because we needed to bust our ass to only lose 4-2. That abomination, I mean, we have not played a game yet this year where we've allowed fewer than 3 goals. So there's that. Bennett, we got 1 goal. We got 1 goal. And I'm trying to search my brain. Bennett, Kachuk, Verhaeghe, they looked at about 70% effort. The rest of the team, it's indescribable. Like, you can't even be mad. It was... So we're the Cup champs. See that sign? We're the Cup champs. And as much as I hate standing here making the excuse of the fact that we're the Cup champs and we're going to coast some games and just it's only going to be so much that these guys are going to care about the regular season. As much as I hate to stand here and make that excuse, the truth is the truth, right? The truth is the truth. And I'm not saying I agree with it or advocate for it. None of that. But we played the Rangers on Thursday, and I have a feeling that these guys just kind of went out there like today was a practice. Not even a practice. It was like a forfeit. They treated this game like a forfeit. I mean, just standing... Bob goes... Bob's handling the puck and he goes around the net. And the net is just wide, gaping open. And Forsling just kind of like stands there like and skinnied himself, I guess, to try to not screen Bob. Ekblad remained engaged with his man in front, keeping him out of the crease, which... I suppose that's about as good as you're going to get. But it was almost as if before the game, the coaches got together and the players got together and the Panthers said, look, we got to play the Rangers Thursday, Eastern Conference Finals rematch. We want to be fresh and rested for that. Minnesota, we had a nice start. Right? How would you like to go 6 games without even trailing? Fine, no problem. Boom. Handshake, just don't hit us. We won't hit you. I mean, that was worse than a preseason game out there. Because there was people in the stands that paid for that. Like, I don't know what the parking is there, but I think it's like $40. Like, people paid the park to watch that game where Kyle and I are streaming. And... most of the second and especially the third period, a lot of the commentary was, there's 5.5 left. It's 4.5 left. I mean, it was... So, even Sam Miskevich wasn't flying around out there. I hope they're not all sick. I don't know. I hate making the excuses, right? Like all of the years before when, in the years of this channel, there wasn't a lot of complaining about effort except for Huberdeau. But for the most part, it was guys making mistakes Ekblad would make a lot of mistakes trying to do too much. So I get it. They're the champs. They're only going to really try about 50 games this year, and the other 32 they're not going to care about, and they'll probably still win 15 of those because they're so good. So that's it. There's not much to say. There really isn't. Some of the goals were not Bob's fault. Some of the goals were Bob's fault. All of the goals, for the most part, were the fault of fault. Exactly. They were the defense just playing like crap. The forwards aren't coming back. And our fourth line is Greer, Giles, and Belinskas. Now, come on. Come on. Like, how are we supposed to take this serious when the fourth line is Giles centering a defenseman and the one guy that might supposed to be on the fourth lining, AJ Greer? So, at least it's not Chris Greer like the Dolphins GM. So it could be worse. That's it. I'm going to shut up. It wasn't even embarrassing. We didn't even try hard enough for that to be embarrassing. It was a forfeit. That's exactly what that was.